you ready? It's the Roundtable with me, Robert Bannon.
It's me, live, right here, coming to you live from Richmond Park, New Jersey. Hi, everybody. How y'all doing? Welcome to the Roundtable. My name is Robert Bannon, and I'm excited to be with you tonight. We have some new stuff for you. We have a long show, so barrel down, buckle up, and get ready. I'm going to tell you all about my week in review. We have some fun, exciting things to definitely talk about it. You know, it's a good day when Abby Thompson is watching the Roundtable from overseas. We are international love. Hey, get it. What, blah, blah. I've been in this house way too long. I'll tell you why. Are you ready? Are you ready to talk? Are you ready to have some fun here with me on the Roundtable? We have a great show for you. Danny DeVito, the legendary icon from Penguin. I could talk about movies. Penguin to Twins to Don't Throw Mom Off the Train to Taxi. Danny DeVito is here. His daughter Lucy is here, and they're talking about I Need That, which is playing right now in Roundabout. I got to catch up with them on the red carpet. Then Keenan Bolger is here as well, Broadway superstar, and Sharon Cathrine Brown, divalicious. She's so great. I love her so much. It's going to be a really, really fun show. I'm excited. Hi, Mom. My Mama Rose is here. How you doing, Mom? So should we get started? Before we get started, you know, I talk a lot about Detroit now because my partner is there. And when we were on last week and I was doing an interview and stuff, I was talking about Jamaican Soul, which is a catering company and food place in Detroit. And I had to show Auntie Maureen some love. So if you're in the Detroit area, you can go to Jamaican Soul. It's a commercial. It's our first one. If you want some fried chicken, some greens, some red beans and rice, if you want some catfish, if you want some oxtails, you call 313-719-6658, or you go to Jamaican Soul on Instagram. I ate that finger-licking good food from head to toe, every piece. I would have eaten the bones if I could. It's delicious. It's homemade, and you need to get it. Check it out. Call the number. Go get it. What up, though, Detroit? We'll be talking about Detroit with Andrew Keenan Bolger because he is from there. All right. Yes, we love some fried chicken and some collard greens. I sure do. My mom makes it. You know, my mom makes it. Oh, he's excited for Danny DeVito. You know, Danny DeVito was just in Haunted Mansion. Sam, who's watching from home, Sam was just in the Haunted Mansion for Halloween, right, Sam? Right? And Nana was the person in the globe, and Mommy was like the bride looking. Haunted Mansion, Danny DeVito here. So Bruce, I believe his name is Bruce in the movie. All righty. Before we get started, can we do Hey Friend, Hey first? We're going to switch things up a little. Hey friend, hey, go hit it.
I'll be there for you. How you doing?
I want to give a big shout out to everybody who was affected by the Screen Actors Guild after strike. We stopped doing the show over the summer in solidarity, and then theater stuff kept coming and music stuff kept coming. But big shout out to everyone who walked the picket line, who fought the fight against AI, against the CEOs making millions and millions of dollars and not paying actors a fair rate. They were going to take our likeness and use it forever without paying us. And we fought the fight. I have to give a big shout out to president of my union, Screen Actors Guild, Fran Drescher, and my friend, the Jolie Fisher, you know, Princess Leia's stepsister, Eddie Fisher's daughter, Connie Stevens' daughter, my friend Jolie Fisher. Jolie Fisher had my vote. I sung at her fundraiser to run for SAG-AFTRA, and I'm so proud of the work that she did. So congratulations to the actors who, and all of the unions. I'm in 3: theater, TV, film, teaching, and I am so proud to be a union member. Union members are what built this country. So I want to give a big hey friend, hey to them. Super exciting. Okay, I'm going to do something new. We have a new segment. This is not the theater club for my people in New Jersey. Will be on Tuesday. Tuesday the 14th is the first theater club run by me at Horace Mann School in North Bergen. So be there Tuesday. Are you ready for a new segment? I don't know if it's going to work, but I need responses. It's audience participation. It's the hot take.
It's smoking.
All right. So every week, my friend Mike came up with this idea. We need engagement on the show because the more comments and likes, then more people end up watching the show. So I'm going to ask you a question. That's why it says this.
It's smoking.
We'll play with it. Maybe it needs some tinkering. The question I have for you all, and then I'll do my weekend review and then respond to the questions. So you have a moment to type. So take out your pencils, everybody. When do you go holiday or Christmas shopping, Hanukkah shopping? Are you early? Are you done like me? Do you go late? Are you there on the 24th of December? Do you go on, oh goodness, it's supposed to say Black Friday, but it was rushed. We rushed. Or are you going on Back Friday? Or are you going on Black Friday? Or are you a bah humbugger? What is your deal about the holiday? Do you exchange? Do you shop? Do you do it all online? Tell me, people. I need an answer. I need answers. Write it down. Tell me all about it. Tell me. We'll be back with our answers at the end of the week in review. Well, this week, it started off great. Big thanks to my friends at Disney on Ice for having my goddaughter and my Sam over there. I didn't get to go because I was working, but they had a great time over there on Disney on Ice. There they are with the Encanto lady. We don't talk about Bruno. That's my Vanessa, my goddaughter, and there's Sam. And he's in his We Don't Talk About Bruno shirt. And there they are with Elsa. Disney on Ice is now on tour through the Prudential Center. So go to DisneyOnIce.com and get your tickets. Bring the kids. Bring a lot of money because you're going to need to buy the sword and the popcorn and the ice and the whole thing. So I only have one response. Why are you respond? When are you going shopping? I opened a fortune cookie the other day, and my fortune was the best revenge is massive success. I just took a picture of it because it moved me. You don't have to get your feet dirty. You don't have to go after people. You don't have to be nasty. You just need to be successful for you. Let the universe take care of everybody else, right? So the best revenge is massive success, and I wish that for each and every one of you out there. Let's go get it. What was successful for me? Well, I was enjoying my week. I was having a regular, normal week, like a regular, normal human. This week in New Jersey, Tuesday's election day. It's teachers' convention Thursday and Friday. I only had to go to work 2 days, and I was ready to just lay back and enjoy my weekend. I went to Sam's Club where I was shopping away at the Sam's Club, right? Taking pictures of things, looking for shopping. And I went to work on Monday. The stairs were wet. I slipped on the stairs, fell down all the stairs, hurt my back, hurt my knee, went on workman's comp, and had to stay a whole week out of work. Hurt my knee. It's bandaged. I'm bruised back. Hurt my hands because they hit and everything this week got canceled. I was supposed to interview Brooke Shields on Monday in New York. We had to cancel it. They sent me to the Emergency Med. There's me and my dad in the with the workman's comp doctor. And this week just went nothing. Show God your plans and then kaput. It shouldn't have been embarrassing, but it was hard for me because I try not to make a big deal about me and what I do. So I just try to be under the radar, especially at work, because I get all of this, all this stuff all the time. So for me, I was like, oh my gosh, I've been home. So I've been home. I've been watching Netflix. I read the Britney book. This is done. Anyone want to borrow it? I'm now moved on to Babs. I've moved on to the Barbara book, which is 1,000 pages. And sometimes life forces you to take a break, right? But I should be back on it, hopefully for next week. I have one more appointment with the doctor. Take care of our body. We only get one of them, right? You know what did cheer me up, though? Last week before I got sick, I got to teach my kids, my little students over in Newark. Look how cute they were last week. Take a peek. They do Hamilton and they rap. Look at this guy. He booked Aladdin in his school play. Look at him. My babies. Star, 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 star. And then they all wish me a happy birthday. These are my kids. I have some more with them. Yes. I have so much fun with them on Saturdays. Saturdays, if you're in the New Jersey area and you want to send your kids for musical theater, jazz, drama, hip hop, njpac.org. That's my family out there, and I'm so grateful to be a part of the whole entire family at the New Jersey Performing Arts Center. That's my update. Yeah. Yes, the hot take. You liked it? Yes. Been online shopping for a month. Gotta get her done. Tree's going up this weekend. I'm not hating, Janelle. I'm ready. I have a Christmas playlist. I have my Christmas shopping. That's where we're at. Thank you for saying it's good advice. That fortune gives major Scorpio vibes. That's because it's a Scorpio season, Abby. You know it. You know us. You get us. We get the Scorpio season. Thank you, Janelle, for playing the game. Everyone else, incomplete. Zeros. All of you. 0. What would Miss Morrow say if she saw that? She teaches 5th grade math with me. I don't know. I'm going to ask her. All right. So yeah, that's our hot take, new segment every week. Oh, my mother. She's excited to see all the great holiday decorations and lights, and you like the hustle and bustle. And I like getting presents, including presents from my mom. No, she cooks and takes good care of us. I'm okay. That's what I meant on social media when I said this week did not go as planned, because everything that I had planned got scratched, and me and Netflix and Britney Spears spent the week together. Thank you. I appreciated everyone who reached out and showed me love. Are we ready for the shameless plug? I think so. All right, hit it.
'Cause I'm shameless.
Well, there's nothing new. My mom says that I am the present. That's why she's so great. I'm just going to wrap myself up in a big refrigerator box. Oh, Christine, thank you. I shop through the whole year, not just November and December, get things as I see those that fit specific family or friends, or make personal things. I don't do much Christmas shopping anymore. I like that. I think that's beautiful and really sweet and makes me smile. Good answer. 2 points. Oh, yeah. Moms. Those moms. I will do a big special episode for 100, 18 weeks away. I got you, Waffles. I got you. We're almost there. My shameless plug, as you know, we are going to go full steam ahead. My album Rewind is out. Hey, there it is. And I had the chance to catch up on the red carpet with Times Square Chronicles. I don't know if this is the right video. And take a little peek of us talking about my album, which you could stream wherever music is: Spotify, Apple, Tidal, Amazon. That's not the right video. It's this one.
To interview somebody, but I didn't think I would have a chance, and then I'm on the red carpet with him. Now, what are you doing right now?
Right now I am part of the Broadway Podcast Network, and I have a show called The Roundtable. We're out here with you all, with legendary journalists.
How great. Legendary singer.
No, but I have a brand new album. My album is called Rewind, and speaking on the carpet of the New Jersey Hall of Fame, I am born in Richfield Park, New Jersey. I am a proud Jersey boy, and I told my story. Directed by Robbie Roselle.
Nice.
About growing up in Jersey, because we're a certain kind of person.
What song or cycle of songs says who you are right now?
Well, the album ends, Rewind ends with the Peter Allen song Once Before I Go, and from The Boy from Oz as well. And I think that before we all go, because we can have tons of money, but we can run out and get more, but we cannot get time. And I think that before our lives are over and before we get too old to do it, I think we need to do what our quest is on this earth. So before I go, I want to be able to sing. I want to be on the red carpet with you. I want to be able to get my message out and to create art, because I think art is what heals us all. And I think that's my goal, and that's what I hope.
Now, is Rewind out yet?
Rewind is out.
Tell them about Rewind.
Rewind is out. You can get it wherever music is streaming. So if you're an Apple, if you're a iTunes, if you're a Spotify, if you're a Tidal, wherever music is, and it's fun. It's 1 hour of my stories growing up, my bad Rent audition, my love for Manilow. It's a little bit of everything.
Wait, who did you?
There you go. So check out Rewind wherever music is heard, and thank you for everyone who's streaming it. I think we're almost over 2,000 streams, which it gives me incredible joy, and I'm so incredibly honored and flattered. If you want to see me in person, you can check me out. That was Susanna Bowlings, by the way. Thank you. Do you hear yourself in the background? I hear Christine and I hear Janelle in the background for sure, and it makes me smile. I want you to come to Christmas. Christmas is going to be on December 9th at 7:00 at Chelsea Table and Stage. It is music directed by my team. Yaz and Robbie will be there. And special guests, Robbie Roselle and Kevin Smith Kirkwood, who starred as Lola in Kinky Boots on Broadway and does a show about Whitney Houston, will be there to do a Whitney Houston number with me. Tickets are going and they're available, so you better grab one. And maybe Santa will be there. And it may be fun. And I may be rehearsing on Saturday. And we may be recording on Saturday a brand new Christmas single called Don't Save It All for Christmas Day, coming out the day of the show. So stay tuned because there's a lot of information and stuff that I'm working and tinkering. Go to robertbannon.com. You can get your tickets to see me. And if you use the code Robert5, you'll save $5. Not bad, right? We all want to save $5. That's $5. This is a half a drink. Or a quarter of a drink in New York City. You know that my show is also on the Broadway Podcast Network, and sometimes what you don't see here is there. And over on YouTube, there's been interviews every single day. This week, we've had Richard Topol, who was in Indecent on Broadway. We had Dom Benjamin, who won America's Next Top Model, talking about his new show about sneakers. Bo Pescaro, who talks about singing and his anxiety, and he's Tourette's, and he's an amazing artist. And then we had Morrett Brown Clark, who has 20 million streams of gospel music, and she really inspired me. Christine commented that she inspired her, and I wanted to take a little piece of Morrett Brown Clark. Her album is out now, and if you're in the mood to listen to holy songs, gospel songs, if that's your bag, you got to check her out because she's the real deal. Her voice is something special. Take a peek at this chat we had. Miss Morrett Brown Clark, welcome to the show.
Hi.
It's so nice to have you here.
Thank you so much. You're awesome.
Gosh, your voice and your ministry and your work is awesome. So thanks for being here.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
That's the truth. When I'm with my family in Detroit, it is gospel music only, and they do not play about church.
To me, I remember, Robert, when I started. I remember when it was just, will you go? And a yes. God, I will go. Tell me what to do. And it has literally been day after day, minute after minute, second after second of him doing what he does. He can do exceedingly and abundantly above all that we can ask or think. I just want to praise you went viral during the pandemic. That's my song. And so I just wanted to record it again with my band, my singers, basically how we do it when we go out live.
The fam will be listening for sure and following you. Thank you for the word. Thank you for sharing your talent. And thank you for giving us music that gives us hope and gives us a look for a brighter day.
Yeah. Thank you so much for having me. Hug your family, kiss your family. That's all we have right now. I love you so much.
I love you. Thank you, Ms. Clark. He Loves Me is out now. Go stream it. Go get it. Go get it. Take a listen. You can listen to Rewind, Trashy Jersey, and then you can listen to Jesus. And you get the best of both worlds, you know? I'm on pain medicine. Leave me alone. Yeah. So that was that. Did we do everything? Is there anything else? You're going to come see me. And if you don't see me in person, you could see me on the virtual. It's a virtual one as well. That was about the Christmas show. All right. I hope you're all coming. Are you coming? Mirta, you're coming? Aunt Fran, you're coming? Grandma, you're coming? Everyone listening and watching, you're coming. At least come join me virtually and celebrate Christmas with me December 9th and stream the album. All right, so we have 3 guests, and this show's going to run long because I talk too much. I had the chance to speak to Jersey legend icon. I was a little starstruck because, you know, if it's Batman and the Penguin, if it's Don't Throw Mom Off the Train, if it's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, if it's Taxi, if it's Matilda, Danny DeVito has been in hundreds of movies and television shows. He's on Broadway right now in a brand new show called I Need That with his daughter. It is a 3-person play. And in the opening night on the red carpet, I got to talk to Danny, his daughter Lucy, the other star of the show, and you're going to have a good old time. It's a little short moment in time to commemorate Roundabout's new production called I Need That. Take a peek. Danny DeVito.
Mr. DeVito, so nice to meet you. Just 2 Jersey boys here.
Right from Asbury. Where are you from?
I'm from Fort Lee, New Jersey.
Fort Lee?
And we were at the Hall of Fame the other day.
We had a good time at the Hall of Fame, bringing everybody into the family. And a New Jersey family. That's the way.
Absolutely. When I see you, I don't know if I'm going to order a sandwich or we're going to talk.
No, I know we can go Jersey Mike's on you if you want. But I'm really excited to be here and be here with Lucy, and you know, it's just it's a joy.
It's a family affair.
It is. The show has got all the family things in it. There's a lot of elements in the play. It's a comedy, but it's like got, a lot of layers in the onion that you're peeling back and finding out the depth that everybody goes through. We all have parents, and if we're fortunate enough to have them for a long time, sometimes other elements open up, that you have to deal with.
Absolutely. And what is it like to read Miss Rybeck's words in this script?
Yeah, I love Teresa. She's like a really great playwright, and it's fun to do. It's really fun to be up there with Lucy and Ray.
Yeah, we're here for it, and we want you to get your tickets and come on down here. We have been watching your work, and we thank you for your work. You've given us so much joy. And now on stage.
Yes, we're gonna kill it over at Roundabout.
Yes, come on down.
Come get them.
Let's do it. Thank you so
Okay,
much, Mr.
see
DeVito.
you.
A pleasure. How are you, Lucy? Happy opening.
Thank you so much.
So when this opportunity came to you to work with your father and to be with Ms. Rybeck's words, what was that feeling like when this all came to be and Broadway was on the horizon?
Yeah, I couldn't believe it. I was like, "What? No. What? Okay, great." I'm just kind of eating it up. I'm so thrilled to be here, and it's not lost on me how special this is. So.
And it's a show about family, and your family, you grow up in a showbiz family, and now to follow the footsteps and be here in New York. What has it been like to work with your dad?
It's unbelievable. He has like the most incredible energy, and his work ethic is incredible. He's just always searching, always trying to find the better joke, the moment, and he's been really inspiring for me. It's a gift.
When you're doing this show and you're on stage now in front of an audience, what is the audience's role as you as an actor? With the laughter and the applause, what kind of energy do they give you to get through these 8 shows a week?
It's the best. I love the audience so much, and I'm just so happy every time I go out there and have a warm crowd, and we can laugh and cry together, It's just amazing to feel that support, because we really do feel it. We really do.
Well, it's the perfect show for the holidays. Bring your friends and your family as we get through these winter months and laugh and a little nostalgia and a little heartwarming love.
Yeah, come play with us.
So nice to meet you. Break legs. Happy opening.
Thank you so much.
What's going on? Nice to meet you. Congratulations. Happy opening.
Thank you so much.
So, are you an honorary DeVito now? Is that the story?
I think I'm close. I think I'm close.
I think you're as in as as anyone can be. What has it been like to work with this writer, this director, and this incredible cast on these words?
Well, Teresa's a wonderful writer. I've known her for a few years. I've never done any of her plays, but I'm always satisfied with the result of them. And I love working with Danny and Lucy. They're, it's like you couldn't ask for anything better,
Absolutely. Yeah. And in this time, in this crazy world, a story about a family and the dynamic. Yeah. What has that been like, and how does that reflect in your own personal life when you get up on stage every night?
Well, they're so close, and the way they work is they finish each other's sentences. Lucy has a thought and Danny has a thought at the same time. It's like magic. So I just want to get in the middle of it and not get in the way.
Yeah, and I heard that through the director and through Danny and Lucy themselves, it was a very collaborative rehearsal space. Yeah. You got to play.
Yeah, it's beautiful. We kept bandering lines back and forth, and this works, this doesn't work, this might work, I don't know. It's really, really collaborative. I really enjoyed it.
How do you feel about being back on Broadway in the middle of 42nd Street in New York City, finishing out this year strong with this killer cast and this amazing show?
Well, my nickname is Broadway.
Hey.
That's all you need to know.
Hey.
There you have it. Well, Danny DeVito and Lucy, they're over there at the Roundabout. You can get your tickets. Just go to roundabout.org and you can grab your tickets and see Danny DeVito in person. He's so little and cute. I wanted to squeeze him. Clarence, say hello. Matthew, our their newest roundtabler. Was like your Scorpio, Matthew? It's your birthday. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Matthew, my good new friend. Happy birthday to you. Hope you have the best birthday, my fellow Scorpio. Alrighty. Hi, Graham. My grandmother is here. Hello, Graham. Nice to see you. Happy that you are here. Oh, Clarence looks like he works a 9 to 5 at these. He's a hardworking dog. You know, he works hard every day, barking at nothing. Well, you know, the Broadway Podcast Network, I have brothers and sisters and people that are on the Broadway Podcast Network. I just did a podcast where they wanted my opinion for 2 hours about Dear Evan Hansen. And I gave my hot take. I told them how I felt. I told them the good, the bad, and the ugly. It's coming out soon. I also did musical theater radio this week as we promote Rewind. Thank you very much. Anything, Matthew, I appreciate you. And one of the people that are on the Broadway Podcast Network is the very famous Broadway superstar, Andrew Keenan Bolger. His sister won a Tony. He's best friends with Sutton Foster. And he ends up also having connections to Detroit. Oh, universe, take a peek. All right, so I'm so proud to be a part of the Broadway Podcast Network. I'm so proud to be a part of the theater community. And I've been watching our next guest for a long time on stage and his family. Is there anything this family can't do? Andrew Keenan Bolger, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me, Robert.
I'm excited to talk to you because I'm a fan. I love your work.
Oh, gosh, you're making me blush.
Come on, look at this. Look at these moments of life. If it's Tuck and Spelling Bee and Newsies, and I just think, look at your face, and I wish I could dance, and I can't. That's what I think of. Congratulations on your brand new project. Congratulations on Dracula, a comedy of terrors right now in New World Stages. Tell us how the show came about and what's it about.
Yeah, so this story, I mean, it began in the 1800s, I believe. Yeah, so it's the Bram Stoker classic reimagined as a comedy. It's really hilarious. It sends up kind of the horror genre. It's super campy, very screwball. Basically, if you're a fan of like Mel Brooks or like Monty Python, it's very much living in that world. And I came onto the project, Steve Rosen and Gordon Greenberg, who are the co-writers. They're two people I've been fans of and acquaintances of for a long time. And as soon as I read this play, I was like, oh, this is delicious. And my character, I get to play 7 different characters in the show. So it's kind of like, it's every actor's dream. You're like, I would love a project that allowed me to show the many goofy and crazy sides of myself.
Yes, well, you can go to DraculaComedy.com and get your tickets. And New World is a great place to see a show because it's intimate and nice, and there's good leg room, and you'll have a good time over there in the New World stage. 7 characters? How do you know who you are at each moment?
I mean, honestly, it was one of the more difficult rehearsal processes that I've ever done. I think at first I sort of went into it being like, oh, how lovely to get to do a play. Because I'm more known for musicals, which are a different kind of beast. But this, I will tell you, is more exhausting, I think, than any musical I've ever done. At times I'm playing 3 different characters in one scene. It's actors running on and off stage, doing super quick changes, coming back on as different characters. Yeah, mile a minute. It's challenging. It's honestly, it's more like dance in some ways. A lot of the staging, just really bouncing between characters and yeah, switching accents line to line.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a tiring one, but I think it's very fun for the audience to come and witness.
Well, that physical comedy is really a choreographed routine, I'm sure, and it's very much like a dance. How has it been to be on stage with this group of other actors who, and to be able to have such a good, good time with them, you know, over the week, 8 shows a week?
It's been so great. You know, a lot of us have musical theater backgrounds. And I think it actually, I forget, there's like a famous director, I forget who it was, who said when you're doing a farce, hire the musical people. I think we understand comedy in a way that is so physical that it does make sense to get some of the theater kids up there. And it's a really good group of people. It's two people who I've worked with, two who I've never worked with, both like kind of older and younger. And yeah, it's hilarious. I feel like as much spooky things that are going on in the world right now, it's great to come and just be a clown for 90 minutes. And I think for anyone in the audience, it is a welcome respite to come and just laugh for a good old hour and a half.
That's what I was thinking about the show before we came on to chat about it, was the fact that we're in a weird, crazy world. Things are nutty out here. And who doesn't want to go in and chuckle and have a good old ridiculous fun time? Andrew, musical theater people sometimes with actors get a little bit of a bad rep. Because you've done television, you've done film. We stood in solidarity with the SAG-AFTRA strike. Thank God. Hopefully we get bad reputations for being over the top and dramatic. But in this piece, being a musical theater actor has come in handy.
Oh, certainly. Yeah. Being extra, I think, is the first job qualification. So I rose to the occasion, certainly.
Yes. How and who and what made you say, yeah, I'll do a show where I play 8 characters. I will put on this farce every single day. I will use my body for the people to laugh and make them laugh. And then I'll produce and create a podcast to go with it in my spare time just for fun.
Yeah, well, I haven't been on the stage in a minute. I've been lucky enough to get to do a lot of film and TV work, some directing and writing of my own. But the stage is my first love, and was definitely getting that itch where I'm like, "Ooh, dog's gotta run!" And also just the New York theater community is so incredible. Both the people on stage and the people who are out there supporting us every night. So yeah, it had been a minute, and I wanted to do a show again. It's the thing that made me fall in love with acting, was getting to be on the stage. So this seemed like a great opportunity, and yeah, and then just the script, it was so funny. And then mentioning the podcast. So right when we started in rehearsals, I had an interview with Alan Seals from the Broadway Podcast Network, and we were talking all about just like podcasting and how it relates to theater, and how sort of weird it is that there are not more companion podcasts for shows. That is like a very standard, typical thing. Whenever you're watching a TV show, you're like, and then go over and listen to the podcast and we'll break down all the episodes. And podcasting is something I've been very interested in. I hosted another podcast earlier this year called That Sounds Right, which was a celebrity game show. And so I already had some experience doing it, but was really interested where the kind of intersection between theater fans and podcast listeners comes into play. And this seemed like a natural fit. Also, Broadway Podcast Network, they produced an audio play during, like, right at the beginning of COVID, when everything sort of shut down, of Dracula, A Comedy of Terrors, with a really all-star cast. If anyone's listening to this, pop on over to Spotify. It's so good. Really famous people like Laura Benanti, Ashley Park, Annalie Ashford. Like, every person is a Tony winner basically in it. And so yeah, we got off the call, and I think by the end of the day, I had agreed to do a Broadway podcast companion podcast called Dracula the Podcastula, which is super campy, kind of in the style of like Elvira or like Tales from the Crypt, but also gives a real peek behind the curtain as I chat with our casting creatives in my dressing room in between shows, talking about on-stage mishaps, sort of the development of the piece, and then just spooky things that are macabre, things that are a little paranormal. It's a good time.
Well, if you go to BroadwayPodcastNetwork.com, or you find it on Spotify, Apple, Tidal, wherever you listen to music and
Yeah.
podcasts. Make sure I'm proud to be your Broadway podcast brethren here, and
Me too. It's a
to
good
be a
family.
part of the lineup of the Broadway Podcast Network. If you want in-depth interviews, chats, conversation, I did yesterday a 2-hour in-depth thought process on Dear Evan Hansen with very controversial opinions.
Oh, hot takes. I love it.
So if that's your world, Broadway Podcast Network is where you need to be. I was petrified because I was like, why am I the person talking about this show? But if you want me to, I'm going to talk about it. Andrew, when you are with your when you're coming up with ideas for podcasts, where do you come up with these games and these ideas in your spare time? Like, are you just sitting around thinking of what games to play with? What is your collaborative process like in terms of a podcast?
Sure. Well, yeah. So every episode, it has something called the vampiral moment of the week, which I have a long history just popping up on social media. Basically, as soon as it was invented, I was like, oh, this is a fun playground. And have also been just really interested in connecting a wider audience to the theater community. Just because you do a show in New York, and it really, unless you're within those 10 blocks radius, like, you don't get to see it unless it's like randomly performing on the Tony Awards. And that just didn't feel fair to me. Like, I was a theater kid who grew up in Michigan. I would look forward all year to getting to see, like, oh yes, there I am. Yeah, so I these little tiny moments where I got to see either like a show perform on like the Thanksgiving Day parade, or like perform on like the Rosie O'Donnell show. Those were such huge moments. So as soon as like YouTube came along, as soon as Twitter and Instagram, I immediately was like, oh, this is how we can bring theater to everyone, to the masses, and that it's not prohibitively expensive, that it's not only happening in a very small patch of land. And so, yeah, in terms of like the vampiral moments of the week, I knew specifically with a podcast that's a fun audio experience, how can it live visually in other areas? So every week we play these little games. Sometimes they're like doing like a push-up challenge with our Dracula, naming as many pop culture vampires as we can, or it's doing like a one-word spooky challenge where the co-author of Dracula and I like trade one words telling a scary story. Every week there's something new, and also it's all living online, either on my Instagram at Keenan Bolger or at Dracula the Podcastula.
There you go. Go to Keenan Bolger or go to Dracula with a straight face and find it.
It's a very silly title.
Or you could always go to the BroadwayPodcastNetwork.com. I was going to ask you about growing up in Michigan. Where in Michigan did you grow up?
Detroit proper, actually. Right in Detroit. I think I'm like 4th generation. My grandparents are from there.
Okay, so it's one of my favorite things to talk about is Detroit, and I'm going to tell you.
Oh, go on.
My partner is from Detroit.
Oh, no way.
I grew up in Jersey, and I have learned a lot about Detroit. And Detroit and Michigan is a very unique, weird place because you have things there that don't exist anywhere else in the world.
Oh, yes.
And Detroit, I found many people like to say they're from Detroit, but they're not from Detroit.
They're not from Detroit.
You're not Grand Rapids, Flint. You're not from Detroit. Don't even play.
Get out of here, West Bloomfield.
Hamtramck is not even barely. Come on, Detroit. So what is it about Detroit, Michigan, that so many musical theater or entertainment people in general, the greatest music in the world, some of it was created right there in Detroit. What is is it the Coney dog? Is it the Faygo soda? What is it in the water in Detroit that makes you all so talented?
Oh my gosh. Well, I think it's a combination of things. First of all, there's like an incredible history, obviously, of the music industry there. It's the birthplace of Motown, and incredible artists have been from there. And then I'll be honest, in terms of theater, I think growing up in like the 80s and 90s, Detroit it fell on hard times. The city went bankrupt. There was kind of a real dearth of culture, if I'm being totally honest. And I think weirdly, when you grow up in that, it forces you to be creative. It forces you to seek out opportunities to be artistic. And I think weirdly, that is why there's so many musical theater kids from there, from the Midwest. It's like when you are in a very area where you can't go and see a Broadway show every day, it is gonna force you to create moments of artistry, moments of theater. Yeah, like growing up, the Keenan Bolgers did a lot of theater with the Fosters, who were another family that grew up in Detroit. Yeah, there's either something in the water, there's a little bit of like built-in history, and then sadly, I think it's probably it's different now. Detroit now is like very cool and hipster in a way that was not my experience living there, but it was out of the ashes birthed a generation of musical theater performers.
See, it's not the better made potato chips. It is.
Yes.
I understand, and I think it's a lot of the way people feel about New York City. Or my parents will look at Harlem and think Harlem is and it's a hipster city now. It's it's very trendy and cool. And we are from an era and a time where some of these cities have this name that we think, oh, it's not the way it is, and it's changed. So thank you for sharing that. I love that.
Yeah,
and
I love hearing whenever people are from Detroit, because it's a cool place to grow up. It's somewhere I didn't appreciate as much while I was there. I think because growing up, when I was like 10, I moved to New York to go be in Beauty and the Beast, like as a kid, and was like, oh no, this is where I'm supposed to be. But as I've grown up, my dad, he works for the city of Detroit. He's an urban planner. He's worked there his whole life and takes tremendous pride in it. And I don't think it was until I was older and realized like more of the history and more of just the like incredible community that is there, that has been given very little and has made a lot out of it. It is an impressive place to be from, and a place that I totally believe in.
So thank your dad, because they do such a great job with parks and rebuilding that entire city. And it's such a cool, funky place. And you all make up neighborhoods every day. I look at real estate there because it's way cheaper to live there than here. And I'm like, what did you make up a new neighborhood every day? Where is this?
Truly. You're like, that's the West Side. I love whatever cutesy thing you got going on, but
right, still the West Side. Andrew, you're such a pleasure. I have to trickle my little self over to see Dracula. And you need to get your tickets. Go to draculacomedy.com. You need to follow Andrew, because he is truly, you are such a social media maven. Your personality just jumps off of the gram and the all of the social media. And follow us and listen to us both on the Broadway Podcast Network. It's such an honor to be on there with such amazing people like yourself, Andrew. And I love and I'm flattered to be in the company of your podcast with mine. And I'm excited to see what other tricks you have up your sleeve. If it's directing, acting, singing, dancing, we're here for the whole experience.
Oh gosh, thanks so much, Robert.
There you have it. Isn't he charming? He's such a nice guy. What a great guy. So much fun. Dracula is running right now. It should be fun and campy and ridiculous. And you could listen to his podcast right after you listen to us. How about them apples, right? What's his favorite sauce is the question from Waffles. I don't know. I can tell you mine. I don't really enjoy the condiment as much as other people. But if I went to a fast food place, I'd probably get sweet and sour sauce. I don't love barbecue sauce, But you know who I do love? Sharon Catherine Brown. I met Sharon Catherine Brown at the opening of Pay the Writers. Then I saw Sharon Catherine Brown again at the You Gotta Believe Fund. She sang And I'm Telling You, because she was a replacement for Jennifer Holliday in Dreamgirls. She was in the Chorus Line movie. She was on The Jeffersons, and she was on a ton of she was on a ton of television shows, and she's a big Broadway star. And yeah, I love Andrew's personality and enthusiasm. He is super fun. And Sharon Catherine Brown is deep and serious, and she's an artist, and she loves her family, and she's an advocate for foster and adoption. She has an 18-year-old son now. She's married to Billy Blanks, the Ty Bo guy's son. She's going to make you cry. She is so moving to me. I love Sharon Catherine Brown, and she's here. it's rare. We love voices. We love voices on the show. And what we love more than voices is personalities and inspiration. And Sharon Catherine Brown brings a little bit of all of that. I had the pleasure of meeting her at an off-Broadway opening, and we just had a great conversation. And then I saw her, and I've been following, and I've been obsessed in the rabbit hole of her voice. You have seen her on television. You've seen her in film. And we're going to talk today about her career and her voice and her family, her heart. I brought my 6'6" best friend Mike to this gala, and Mike was sobbing when Sharon Catherine Brown told her story about her son. Welcome to the Roundtable, my friend Sharon Catherine
Yay!
Brown.
Hi, Robert. Finally.
I am so excited to talk to you.
I'm excited. I adore you, and I just we just clicked, and so I'm just so glad this worked.
I just love your energy, and you get my crazy, and I appreciate it.
Yes, I did. Crazy knows crazy.
Hey, I like it. Well, that's what I was going to say, but I was trying to be close. Were you born in New York City?
Yeah, born and raised. I am a diehard New Yorker. I've spent a lot of time in LA, and not to bash LA, I'm always a fish out of water anywhere else. I mean, anywhere else, I am a New York girl. Yeah.
Yes, and you come from a family of artists.
Yeah, my mom and my dad. So you probably know this. We have a thing in theater called you can be a legacy baby. You're a legacy baby if you have one parent that has been in show business. So when you're a Broadway legacy baby, that means you have one parent who has also been a Broadway performer. I'm a double Broadway legacy baby. My dad was on Broadway, and my mom was on Broadway, but I go one step further, and I'd be willing to bet you money right here on your show, you're not going to find another one like this. My mother, when she was a little girl, was on Broadway, the first all-Black Broadway show with her mother, my grandmother. My grandmother was one of the dancing girls, was one of the ensemble dancers. My mom was one of the kids on stage. And Bill Bojangles Robinson was the star of that show. It was called Memphis Bound at what is now the Belasco Theater. It was something else back then. So I know most people that you meet that are in show business, they're the first ones in their family. But if they have one parent or two parent, but you're never going to have the parent that did a Broadway show with their parent, and that's your to go that far back. I'm so proud of my mom and dad and my grandmother, and it is the family business. I have a brother that's in it. It's our family business. I love theater so much.
Yes, just like someone would be like, my dad's a plumber and I'm a plumber. Like you are Broadway babies. That's
yeah, because so many times this is a difficult industry, and I always sink a little bit. I understand why, but I always sink a little bit when I see people speak and they're mega successful. Like if I had an eighth of their success or money or any of that, and their children, they're asked about are your children? And they're like, no, I don't want. And I sink a little bit because I'm like, these are the kind of comments I feel that make people keep seeing us as, a hobby.
Right.
This is a business, and this is my family's business. It is called show business. It's an industry, and it is what we love. It is something that I believe we are gifted with. God gave us this privilege of being in this industry, but it is an industry. So I'm very proud to say that. My mom and dad, we lost my dad last year, and we're going through it. We're going through it. I'm very proud of both of my parents. And my dad played Mr. Bookman on Good Times, a show called Good Times, Johnny Brown, and he made his Broadway debut. He was Sammy Davis Jr.'s protege, one of them, and he made his Broadway debut in Golden Boy, stole the show every night. Sammy said that, so I'm not just. And was also in Carry Me Back to Morningside Heights, directed by Sidney Poitier. I just really love my family very much.
Yes, I absolutely, as you should, and the legacy of work that they have left, and the legacy of work that you have left and continue to leave is astonishing. From I know we're still in the strike, but you have a whole career of television and film.
Yeah.
And then a giant, Broadway career, starting with not started, it wasn't your first role, but many people will know you from a giant role, which is Effie in Dreamgirls. And I got to see you sing it.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is banana.
Yeah, I did. I did Effie, but before that, I was the narrator on Broadway in Joseph. I took over for Laurie Beachman, and I also did it on tour. And I was fortunate enough to do the role of the narrator with the original Joseph, Bill Hutton, who is he is a family member. He is the only thing that's missing between us is blood and DNA. He's my family. And I also did it on Broadway with David Cassidy. And that's the whole Cassidy family has known me since I was 5, because I did Maggie Flynn with their mom, Shirley Jones.
It's
so that was my debut. Yeah.
Sharon is crazy. It's just crazy. Broadway, Dreamgirls, Joseph, Carolina Change, Head Over
Jekyll and Hyde. I was the first Black woman ever in the world to play Lucy. I was directed by David Warren, who directed all the Desperate Housewives, so many more things. And Jerry Mitchell was our choreographer. And Ken Davenport, who was one of the biggest producers on Broadway, he was our company manager. And Kelly O'Hara, who I'm about to work with again for the 3rd time. We go all the way back. She started in the ensemble and became my Emma.
And you have to be able to be Lucy. You better sing. You better be ready to sing.
Yeah, I am friends with an incredible musical director. He's incredible. He's a music miracle, Ron Abel, who is Lucy Arnaz's musical director for all these years. And he said to me the year before I got the role, it's so weird. He was like, your voice is so suited to Lucy. You should do that show one day. And in my head, I was like, that in my head, for good reason, I was like, I am usually like the only Black person or the first one to do this. And in my head, I was like, there's been no Black women to do that. And, that's probably not going to happen. And the next year, I was cast as Lucy by Frank Wildhorn, who I also am continuing to work with. Like I have 3 shows that are Broadway bound right now that I'm working on.
Come on.
I'm Marilla Cuthbert in Anne of Green Gables, and we're on that road. So while I'm also doing and it's an incredible musical. So while I'm also doing that Days of Wine and Roses, transferred from off-Broadway to Broadway, which we start that in December. So that's incredible that and Michael Greip is our director. He directed me in Rent. So I'm just surrounded by family.
You literally are surrounded by, and they hire you again because you are so talented and such a pleasure. You mentioned Days of Wine and Roses. While we're here, you can go to daysofwineandrosesbroadway.com. You can get your tickets. It's opening in January, and it's a limited run, so you better run and get your tickets. Yeah. Sell this cast.
Yeah.
Sell this place out.
Yeah, it's intense. It's intense, and it's so intense on stage that you have no idea how foolish we are off stage. The cast you would never get. I mean, even we didn't know whether there was going to be the space for that. You don't know until you get in it, and that is just, ridiculous, just silly and so close. I've been so fortunate that with shows.
I teach musical theater at New Jersey Performing Arts Center in Newark every weekend, and we talk about the great voices in Broadway and et cetera. And they have so many.
I want to come and speak to them one day. If you do that kind of thing,
I'm sure you, and they would be honored to chat. And they talk a lot. And as me, as a very privileged cis white man, they talk a lot. And we're in Newark, so we are of all different shapes, sizes, colors, and shades. And they talk a lot about breaking through, away from the traditional casting. Or of course they want to do these shows that are iconic, but we want, they come in and say, I want to be in Wicked. I want to be in this show.
Yeah.
How has your journey, you have been at the forefront, you have fought to really break roles that you just said were not really meant for people like that were seen in your way. How did that happen for you?
I feel like, I don't, it's weird for me to answer because I don't really know. My Sharon Catherine Brown answer is I'm praying constantly. I win all of my battles on my knees. I will tell that to anybody. I never look and go, oh, it's because I'm a singer. First of all, I am not a singer first. I know that I'm known for my voice. I'm an actress first. So singing is something that in recent years, I have really started to enjoy. Most of the body of work that I have that people talk about all the time, I think of it differently because I think of it as spending the entire day before I get to the theater being terrified. It's not fun for me. The whole day going, I don't want to disappoint anybody. I don't want to disappoint anybody. I just wish I could be an actress and not, I wish I could do a musical without singing. Ding. You know what I mean? And so there was a shift, really 5 or 6 years ago, or maybe more like 7 years ago, which, I've been in show business since I was 3.5. So it's such a small amount of time to go in the last 7 years. I feel like I was really, because I used to pray, please don't let me feel this way anymore about just the fear of the level of stage fright that I always had. Nobody ever knew it. And people just make an assumption that if you're a strong performer, I learned how to channel it. And so I think some of my strength and power came from, I've got to push myself forward or else I'm never coming out of the wings again.
No, this is so important and so real because there's so many things.
Could you imagine during the show where's Sharon? Well, I'm looking right at her. Why isn't she making her entrance? I don't know. She's right here.
I'm not doing it. I'm not crossing.
Oh my gosh.
I don't think people talk about enough how much fear and anxiety and you can be the most talented person. You could have every award. You could have the greatest voice or skills and anxiety and fear and nervousness and the fear of disappointing people and all.
Yeah.
It's very real.
It's very real. And it takes, while it didn't stop me, it takes the joy that you should have away from it, or it cuts into it considerably. And so this is a roundabout way of answering your question. When you're saying, how did you push through? I was always pushing through in a way that didn't necessarily have to do with race. Although that was a part of it in the spectrum, in the scope of things, the bigger picture, I was always aware of that. But there was also this pushing through. I don't want to disappoint anyone. Like, for instance, for me, almost the worst part of the process was the callback. Fortunate enough to always get a call back, but I was like, oh, okay, they like this, and now they're bringing me back, and I can't screw this up. I don't want to disappoint them. You see, as soon as they bring you back, then you're in a position to go, oh, she was better the first time, or you get in your head, it's all this ridiculous mess. And I think it started to change for me when I accepted the fact that the reason, even though it's even more severe in certain performers, the bottom line is we don't want to suck. There's nothing wrong with that. Like, we don't want to suck.
Right.
And we don't have the guarantee of that, especially in theater and anybody who performs live. And I'm not making it like, because I do movies and TV as well. I'm not saying that to diminish that. It's just that you could, If some things get too rotten, you could get another take. In theater, like you don't have the safety net of let's do that again, let's do it in post, we'll fix it in. You're either gonna rise to the top or you're gonna sink like bad socks. And you don't want to do that. Nobody, so I had to kind of like lay it out there and go, and analyze it and deconstruct it so that I could go, well, there's nothing wrong with that. Kind of lean into that. You want to somehow you got to find a way of getting through that. But I think what I'm grateful for is I think that's what made me constantly push through. So pushing through as a Black woman was secondary because I had to get through my fear, but it was very much a part of my bigger story and my journey. And in the beginning, I also had a change of the way I feel about it, because in the beginning, it felt like a gift, to be the first one or the only one. That's kind of how we were meant to feel as people of color in this industry. Whether you're a Black person or whether you're an Asian person or Hispanic or Indian, anybody, or Native American, who you barely ever, like Native Americans are wiped out in every way. You know what I mean? You're made to feel, if you get the gig in a show that is known or a show that becomes known and it's a predominantly white cast, you're the one. You got through. What I love that changed is privately we would look at each other and go, this is not cool to be the only one. It's not normal. It's not cool. And so it's not a great thing in 2023 for people to still say I'm the first. That's just so backward. And I mean across the board. If you are any race of and saying that you're the first in this industry, that really does not make us look good. It's not a whoopee. It's like, shame on you. This is why are you the first? Why are we still breaking that kind of record?
Absolutely, 100%. Well, the proof is in the pudding that the work is out there. You can see your voice and your work, and we're going to see it on Broadway for sure. I know that through telling the introduction that I was joking about my friend Mike crying, which he was sobbing. You have a strong foundation at home. And you have a even bigger calling than the stage, and that is your son. What's that like to be able to be anchored in this crazy business with a boy at home and a family, and that really kind of ties you to real life, so to speak, and something to come home to every night?
Well, I mean, the organization, because I've just been put on the board of believers of You Gotta Believe. You Gotta Believe brings families together with kids who have aged out of the system, the foster system. Our son, we adopted him out of the foster system, and he's everything to me. He's literally everything. He is the center of my heart. He is my heart, and it is a journey that is difficult because it just because of the circumstances and being a mom. I mean, being a parent in general, but I'm not a dad. I can only speak for being a mom. And so with all humility, I will say it is the hardest job. It is the hardest thing that you will ever do that no amount of money could pay you for. Sometimes I hear people go, we don't get paid enough to be mothers. I was like, that's because there's no amount of money that is worth what you're doing. You can't get paid for raising a whole other human. And knowing that, and some days you suck as a parent, and you thank God you don't get paid, or else you wouldn't make anything that day. You just have. I wanted to be a mother so much, and and I'm just really, really grateful for it. I'm always nervous when my son comes to see me. I'm always the most nervous because I want him to be proud of me. And that hits me. I'm so embarrassed. I talk about him and immediately but I do. I want him to be proud of me. I'm very proud of my family, and I love them so much. And I think when you're raised with that, it's the level that you aspire to. And I saw this in a movie and I was like, gosh, whoever wrote this is not by chance. This person went through this. In terms of endearment, the Deborah Winger character says, on your worst day, you end up wishing it were that easy. I think it's something like that, like you think about what you think of is hard, and then you realize, oh, that was nothing compared to what it is sometimes, because you know you're gonna get the blame for everything, and those are the shoulders that's the mommy shoulders, but you'll also get the hug that you'll never forget. My son hugs me, and I feel it on my body after he's gone. Like when he leaves to go, and do whatever and do his classes. And he doesn't know, he does know that, but he's 19. So when I say that, it's like, oh, mom, I'm so dramatic and I'm so emotional. And I'm like, that's the thing. I said, and I'm always going to be that. I said, and you just have to deal with that.
Right. Look, my mom is like that and I'm 40. So I think that's
because you're never, the roles never legitimately switch. You're always her kid. Even if you get to a point where you're taking care of her, you're still her kid.
And if no matter what age you pick up that phone and I call her and I'm having a day or I need my mom, she's a mom. You're a mom.
Yeah.
That's it. You're a mom.
Yeah.
You could be opening the biggest Broadway show, be in the biggest movie. That phone rings. It's your son.
Look, I'll tell you, being a daughter, it's the hardest thing for me to go through these things, these new things, and not be able to, because it's a thing we do. I pick up the phone, or either we'll FaceTime, and mom and I are like, da, 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 and my dad's in the background going, can I get a word in? It's the thing we always do. And it's weird because we're so close. It's the first people I want to tell. It's the most important thing. It's them. It's look, I got this new thing, or or my son did this. That's who I want to tell.
Forever. I don't have children, but I have 110 of them in my 5th grade classroom and whatever that I do.
You do have children.
And I do, and I know the responsibility I have, and I say to the parents on Parents' Night, like, you give me your most prized possession. That is a very big responsibility. But I do know that in life, as lucky as we are to sometimes be able to sing, sometimes be able to act, sometimes be able to talk to amazing people like you, the real life, the people that really matter to me are the people in my house. They're my relationship. They're my partner. They're my parents. They're my brother. They're the people that at the end of the day, all of this can go away, but they're the system. They're the people.
And that's who, and you belong to them and they belong to you. And that's family, and the people that are like family, they're important to us, but the family you're born into, that's if you're fortunate enough to have that love, and I know not everybody has it. If you're fortunate enough to have that love, you'll never be loved like that again.
Ever.
It's different because your mom, that mother's love, that doesn't get topped. But I do want to say something real quick about your because I've known you this short time, and I want to assure you, like, I know this much about you. You would definitely be one of my favorite teachers. It's so important that because you have so many kids that you're teaching, but you may not know their individual, like what their life is like, what their fears are, what their, insecurities are, what you, right? That voice in there. And I absolutely know in my heart of hearts that right now you're one of the most important people, whether they're going to be in the industry or not. What I know about you just in this short amount of time, you do have kids, and you do make the impression. There are teachers that I had when I was 5 and 6 years old that I remember vividly. I just want to assure you, like with your personality and your heart, they're going to remember you, and you're going to mean something so important to them for the rest of their lives. It's pretty cool. It's because of who you are. It really is.
I'm going to accept that and say thank you, even though it's hard on the day. And I want to say it back to you, because there are many people who see you up on stage and screen, and they see that anything is possible, and you give joy and hope. And when I went to acting school, my acting teacher said, being an artist is a noble profession, no matter what people say. It is a very noble profession. And we live through history, through our emotions, and we through love, loss, and everything, through the work that you bleed sweat and tears on that stage for. And you leave your family to give that gift to us. So thank you.
Oh my goodness, thank you. That's so beautiful.
That is the truth. You leave your house and you drive over into the city and leave it all on the stage, or you go to Atlanta or wherever you're working at that time, and you give us that work. I love Sharon Cathrine Brown, like, so much. I do. I really love your talent, but your heart and who you are is just amazing. And if you're listening to us on the Broadway Podcast Network, or you're watching us on the Roundtable, you have to go follow Sharon at Sharon Cathrine, Catherine, if you're listening to us, and you need to come see her when she's back on the Broadway at Days of
on the Broadway. I'm on the Instagram, and I'm on the TikTok.
Yes.
I'm on the tick that is talking. And now I'm going to be on the Broadway. That's what we're going to do.
Back on the Broadway.
Back on the Broadway, as we do.
And one day I'm going to take you to lunch, because I need to kiki and hug you.
Oh, please.
Please. I just want to cry and laugh and have the best old time together.
We will absolutely do that, Robert. That's a done deal. We will absolutely do that.
I'll be in the audience, or I'll see you opening night over at Days of Wine and Roses, because I'm not missing that.
I know. Yeah, I know.
Missing that. I thank you for your time. I appreciate you so much, my friend, and I look forward to so much more.
Okay. I love you so much.
Love you so much. There you go. How great is she? Do you love her? I love her. Sharon Cathrine Brown, everybody, choking me up. I appreciate you sticking around and watching this whole show. The show ran long, but it was good. I should interview the guy from Good Burger, since the new series of Good Burger is coming out. Well, Keenan Thompson and me have worked together a lot on SNL, and you can Google Electric Shoes and see me and him working on Saturday Night Live. Kel Mitchell, the other guy from the show, has declined coming on the show, but I'll ask again. You got it. Well, we made it. Next week, hold on to your hat, Linda Gray is here. Sue Ellen herself from Dallas will be here to talk about a brand new Lifetime Christmas movie she's doing with Morgan Fairchild and Donna Mills and Nicolette Sheridan. And we have a blast, and she's going to give you the tea about Larry Hagman in Dallas. She will be here. Plus, I will give you the full scoop and video and all the exclusive interviews with the opening of Harmony. Maybe Manilow will do it. Will Manilow do it? He didn't do it last time. Will he do it on Monday night? You'll have to tune in next Thursday to find out. Yes, thanks, Sharon, for this deep and keeping it real. Thank you. Yeah, really wonderful. I appreciate you all so much for being here. Come see me in New York City. Stream, rewind, watch the Roundtable, and listen to it on the Broadway Podcast Network. If you like this show, make sure you subscribe and you click the link and you click the notification and you come back and join us. Share it with a friend. I hope to see you all again real soon. Matthew, happy birthday, everybody. Thank you so much for being here and watching, and I look forward to you doing all the great things that you do. Say hello, stay in touch, and I love you for being here. Remember, broken knee, broken back, week at home, Streisand's book, The best surely is yet to come. Good night, everybody. Bye.